important for the creation of jobs, the economy, and the social advancement of a nation. As industry organizational psychologists, we always strive to improve the work conditions, and it is important for us to understand the psychology behind entrepreneurship. Welcome to IUPsych in Action. This segment will be called the intersection between IU psychology and entrepreneurship. My first guest is a serial entrepreneur, a strategist, and a growth hacker. He excels at creating systems and processes which guarantee businesses to operate at a maximum profitability and customer engagement. Ibrahim is the CEO and the co-founder of the Middle East ultimate destination for distress, this mushroom. If you would like to connect with Ibrahim, I will leave his information in the description, and also I will link his channel in this video. Make sure to check it out. He has great videos on branding and also how to start business and the mistakes to avoid. Welcome to IUPsych in Action. My guest today is Ibrahim. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we start?
Hi, Lubna, and hi, everybody watching this. My name is Ibrahim Abudyak. I'm an entrepreneur, business coach, and a speaker. I'm based in Dubai. I'm originally from Jordan, a little country in Levant, in the Middle East. I enjoy working with people in terms of like getting the most out of them, unlock their potential, as well as starting businesses from the scratch and building it up. So that's something I really enjoy and love doing. Thank you for having me on your channel.
Thank you for joining me. And one of the reasons I want to start a conversation with entrepreneurs and how IO psychology can help them. And I know before our conversation, you didn't know what is industry and organizational psychology.
That's right.
What you think
Yeah.
about? Go ahead.
So as a term, I've never heard about it as a term before, but when you explained it to me, I obviously, understand it and know exactly, to a good degree, what does it entail and what does it mean. However, yeah, as a term, never heard someone who said, this term before. So it's really interesting.
Um, that's true because a lot of IO psychologists they work under different umbrella, like for example, training and development, HR, and from our conversation, a lot of things you do is under the umbrella of industry and organizational psychology as well.
Great.
Um, what is the challenge that entrepreneurs right now are facing?
Well, that's really a big question. If I want to summarize, because there's really a lot of challenges. It depends from one situation to another, from one person to another, as well as even the same person from different startup to another. There are different, set of challenges that come with starting a business, depending on the field, depending on the previous experiences. There's a common one I would start with is basically raising funds and having the enough money to start. So whether people are bootstrapping, putting in their own money, or trying to raise funds through family, friends, or through investors and VCs, this remains one of the biggest challenges. Plus, really finding the unique value proposition in the startup that you are creating, because like there are hundreds or thousands of startups that are being created on every day around the world. So what's gonna make your startup different and unique? There is no such thing as a new idea or something that have never been done before. It just could be a collection of two ideas put into one, and there you go. And there could be someone else somewhere else in the world who have thought about the same and probably have done it before. What makes something really unique today is providing a customer experience that's nothing like anything. Anything in the competition, or provide add a value that people are actually looking for, or solve an existing problem. that the competition fails to solve properly.
From our discussion about IU psychology, how do you think we can help startups or entrepreneur navigate some of the challenges they are having? I know we cannot help them with fundraising, but there is other aspects in starting a new company organization that might help. A lot of IU psychology
Sure.
students, what they are facing right now is having experience. So they are willing to work, like to do pro bono work, and to help uh, entrepreneurs start their organization right, and that's going to
Mhm.
help them in the long run. And also for IU psychology students, understanding how an organization is born, how the culture is being formed from the beginning, would help them in their career in the long term, and that's going to help them also find that next job because they already have experience in a certain field that they are passionate about.
Sure. So once you have a startup, once you have formed something, forget all of these challenges that I've spoken about. The main and the biggest challenge is people. And what I mean by this is basically dealing with people is, to be honest, is the hardest part. And getting the right employees, having the right employees. Um, I've done a lot of, I would say, mistakes before when it comes to hiring employees, and you learn throughout the process. But what you recognize is that and realize that the cost of hiring employees is really high to a startup. So on average, it's 4,000 US dollars for a new employee to be, from the point where you start looking for someone till you start getting interviews done, and then onboarding them, etc. All of that process could cost you around an average of $4,000. And here in Dubai, it's more or less the same, if not even more than that. So that's the cost of a bad hire. So whatever can help me reduce that cost, get me to the right talent, find the right employee, is something that I definitely, not just me, any other entrepreneur would really appreciate. I'll tell you something. For example, for the Smash Room, which is one of my startups, we never hired for skills. We never look at skills. I never looked at the CV whenever I hired the person in my team. I never looked whether they went to college or not, or they have a degree or not. I really don't care about college education. So what in this particular field? So don't get me wrong. Yeah. What I for a business like the Smash Room, a startup like the Smash Room, what is really important and what matters is your attitude, your personality, and how do you your people skills. Those are the main important things. And if you try to imagine the situation, there is no CV in the world that can tell you whether this person is really good at people skills or not. There's no way until you get even interviews. I'm telling you, interviews, one even so question and answer, the traditional way of interviewing people is not gonna also get you anywhere. Maybe just gonna give you about 5 to 10% only indication of a person's personality. So what I do is basically creating a simulation scenarios where we demonstrate one of the main tasks, let's say at the Smash Room, by one of the experienced team members, and then ask the candidates to try it and do it on their own, and then create a role play scenario where, for example, I play a customer, and if they are in the front line, so you see how would they handle different objections, different scenarios. And that, I mean, by doing that, we found that we could actually get to understand on a deeper level someone's personality and attitude, more than just looking at CVs or doing regular interviews.
No, no, that's great. And you brought up a lot of amazing, excellent point that I want to elaborate on. Like the first one, I agree. One of the people who really vote, like, it's not only about skills. your CV, a lot of people can lie in their CVs, or you have the keyword and you put the buzzword that's trick the system to think you are the best candidate. That something is true. And also that's one of the things we are working as IO psychologists is to help organization reduce the cost for their hiring. And it's not only about hiring, and I agree the research support it's 4,000 per hire. And imagine if you have a high rate of turnover, that cost goes high and high, and then you have that position which is not going to be filled for long. Then um, it's a domino effect when it comes to hiring, and especially if you
That's
have a
right.
bad hire. Also, employee engagement plays a big role in reducing that cost. If you have someone that they really love their job, they excel in it, and they are not leaving, they go beyond what the job description is. The second point, I agree, it's not only about skill, people learn skills, but the best fit for your culture, that's hard to learn. People skills, you can learn them,
Mhm.
but as a startup you
Yeah.
don't have that luxury to wait for someone to learn people skills, especially in case of smash room.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it's exactly you could change eventually. You could say change someone's attitude, right? But am I in the business of changing people' attitude now? uh, in the smash room example, I am in the business of changing people attitude when it comes to the coaching business, right? But at the smash room I need someone who's like really like open-minded, extrovert, who love to talk to people, understand what selling and upselling and how that psychology works. With a little bit of training, the skills, the actual like the rest of the skills can be they are teachable, so we can teach them, and we can spend some time and invest some time at the beginning, but as long as the basic foundation of the right attitude and culture within this person, respect, the smile, the hospitality, these kind of stuff are so the challenges vary, as you can see, as you can tell as well, from one idea to another, from one startup to another.
Yeah, every startup have their own story and their own, but I believe a collaboration between entrepreneurship initiative and IU psychology can be beneficial, especially in terms of reducing cost for hire, because we use a scientific method for hire, and we have the psychometric test, and it's a completely different procedure than what you see normally in HR. Another
Mhm.
example of that is we do job analysis. Basically, it's not, if you have a position, that position is not going to be the job description for that position. What was 1 year ago is not the same applicable today. And the best person to know more about it is the person who's doing the actual job. As IO psychologists, we have
Sure.
different method to evaluate the job and to see if the job description still fits before hiring a new person. Or even if you are
Mhm.
starting or creating a new position, the best person to help you with that is an IU psychologist. And I think this is going to be really beneficial for IU psych students or early career that they're looking for to gain more experience and more exposure. And that's something not just to add to their resume or to their portfolio, but also when they decide to go further in their career and for a position that requires 5 years of experience, they will have that experience.
Sure. I mean, I'm definitely interested to see if there's something that how can IO psychology really sort of like either reduce the cost or get me practical techniques into getting the right people at the right time, and also ensuring that the continuity. The employee engagement is another thing. So once you get the employee in, how do you keep them engaged, and how do you keep them always motivated, keep their spirit high? and that's something we've been experimenting with at the Smash Room, and I've used my own experience in coaching and working with employee engagement and applying it down to the Smash Room. So what you actually feel if you come down there, you don't really feel like you are basically in a very formal place or a business. No, you feel like everybody is there, and they are one family, and there is no sort of like everybody more or less, I mean, they're equal. We're a flat organization. So there is like, as long as you contribute, you achieve whatever you're needed to achieve, as well as you bring in new ideas. There's no bad idea or opinion or bad question in there. So you're encouraged to ask questions. You're encouraged to question why things are being done this way, and also propose, for example, new ideas or change something in the SOPs or the standard operating procedures, or suggest changes, as long as we discuss them as a team and verify, for example, that this thing or this new suggestion could bring in either more business, happier customers, etc. Then would definitely revise and implement. And that's the difference between a startup and a corporate. So I've been in a corporate before, and I work in an American company in Fiat Chrysler, in Dubai office. And if you want to change a process in a corporate world, oh my God! I mean, it could take literally a year or two just for one process,
And
if you're
that might
lucky.
not, yeah, and that might not be applicable after the year. So after the year, you
Exactly, things
already
could
moved in.
change anyways, and you would change
Usual.
the new one. That's right. Yeah. And
No,
that's why I love startups, and that's why you would see a lot of people who are attracted to work for startups versus attracted to work for versus corporates. The pay may not be the same, the benefits may not be the same. We all know, and again, coming from a corporate life about 5 years ago, there are perks that comes with the corporate life. I got to have a brand new car every year, got to travel, really nice insurance, things that you would take for granted when you are at the corporate. But then you move to the startup, and it's really different. However, it comes to you, what do you value the most? And for people who would value freedom, creativity, who would value teamwork, startups is the best place for them to work, not corporates.
no, I agree with you. And a lot of like, especially recent research is supporting that. A lot of people would rather work for a startup where they can be innovative, creative, and add value and feel that they are adding value than working for a
Yeah,
corporate where it's going to be
absolutely.
hard for them to do anything. And as you said, a simple procedure will take a year just to change. And after you get it approved, that procedure is not applicable anymore. So it gets a little bit, it depends. A lot of organizations are trying to have that startup spirit or to keep that startup spirit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what I have noticed is there is a lot of startup. They start amazing, like the best places to work. The challenge is to stay the best place to work. You reach
Mm.
certain limit, and um, that's it. You can't be the same if you don't know how to keep the culture, how to build on the culture, how to create core values as well. And I did some research and interviewed some entrepreneurs from different industry. One of them has been in e-commerce for over 10 years, and he has one philosophy. The moment his company reached 35 employees, he sell it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go over 35. The moment he create a company, it get
Okay.
35 employees, that's it. That's the signal for him, because he know if he goes over that, he's not going to be able to have the same culture to support his employee the same way he wants.
Yeah, I
And
think it's definitely the more as the team grows, there will come new challenges, and you would need sort of like, I would assume, more strict maybe guidelines rather than just jobs are being floating out there, and everybody more or less is understanding and doing everybody's job. And that can be productive and creative when you have a small team. But as things grow in size, and I think that's how corporates become the way they are today. However, I still believe that there can be sort of like a middle um, solution, even if you are at a corporate level, or let's say 50 plus employees, you can still have a way to encourage creativity and support freedom and autonomy with your team. Because always micromanagement, that sadly we see a lot in the corporate world, is I mean, kills productivity, it kills team spirit, and when it comes to customer to employee engagement, it's the end of employee engagement when you have a micromanager.
I agree. And here where IO psychology comes to play is, and here where I want, like, the point that maybe I was trying to get across to everybody who's watching this. There is a lot of I know there is organizations like IO psychology, organizations that are trying to do pro bono work for small businesses. We want those companies to see the value of having an IO psych consultant. And, like, for example, if you have 10 people, that's not going to be an issue. But the moment you start growing, you need to grow in the right way, and things gonna change. However, you need to have what is your core value, what is the organization culture you're trying to have, and things gonna change. But if you have that plan, you have the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, and you know how you will be defining different positions, what is your hire and what is your engagement policies and initiatives. And also you need to measure and to evaluate what is working and what is not working. And also, one of the biggest thing right now is work balance, life work balance, things we did not have just at the, like, let's take 2020 for example. Did you ever imagine that half of the world, over 90%, will be working from home? And a lot of
No one.
organizations, nobody imagined that. A lot of organizations were against remote work, and now they
Yeah.
become big advocates for it
Yeah.
because they realize that in terms of cost
Hmm.
and benefit.
Yeah, for sure. I might have a comment here on the work-life balance thing. Uh, I might have an unpopular opinion, which basically, me as a person, as Ibrahim, I don't believe in work-life balance rather than something I call work-life integration, which means, and basically working at home is a great example of a work-life integration. And that's why you would see now, as you rightly said, a lot of companies have forcefully switched to this, but then decided to keep it for not just because it's cost cutting, because you as a person, first of all, you could integrate a lot of things while you are doing your work. You can be more productive. You can be you're far away from micromanagement as well, as much as possible, and which ends up with increased productivity. So as much as you can integrate your life with whatever you do at work, in my own opinion, and this is again my humble opinion, is the better equation compared to trying to do a work-life balance. Because again, in my opinion, balance as a word means you are going to be an average at everything you do. Your life gonna be average, and your work can be average if you're just looking to balance them out. If you try to integrate them together, then that's when you could actually, be fire on both of them, or any other thing in your life that you want to improve.
No, this is interesting. Like I find the way you explain it's very interesting. Um, Mostly when we talk about work-life balance is we see a lot of people are working 80 hours a week instead of 40, and you don't have time for your family, for picnics, for
Yeah,
anything that uh, it's considered you needed to have a healthy life
yeah,
and to distress. When it comes to distress, I love the idea of smash room. I'm gonna keep coming back to the smash room, and that's
yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
yes, and I know that's one of the way to distress. Half an hour in a smash room and you will feel
Exactly. Oh yeah, I mean, half an hour at the smash room can get you a lot of stress relief, can get you a lot of workout as well, because in 5 minutes of smashing you get 80 to 100 calories burned on average.
oh,
Then you get all these nice and good hormones out in your body, so you feel happy. You feel like a lot. You've lifted a heavy weight that's gone already away from your back, and you had a lot of fun. Plus, at the Smash Room in Dubai, we recycle all electronics that are being smashed, so it's 100% environmentally friendly. We actually help the environment by we buy this electronics from junkyards, and then we smash them and get them to proper recycling. So, on average, every year we recycle about 15 to 20,000 electronics.
wow.
And we do also have some charity work with the Emirates Red Crescent as well. So it's like a 360 approach to life at the Smash Room.
No, that's great. Do you have any advice for anyone who wanna like start their own consultant firm or wanna do freelance as
Mhm.
consultant?
Yes. Since I started my coaching business, it's something that the advice that I would have is that build it with a structure right from the beginning, not just as a hobby, because you might be enjoying whatever you do, and that's really great, and that's probably the best place to start with. However, the way you build a consultancy business or coaching, etc., any freelance work, you need to have a structure in place. Try to automate as much processes as you can, and the goal is so that you would focus on the main thing that you're supposed to do, because otherwise you get diluted with all the other stuff like marketing, business development. You want to be in sales, you want to be in customer service, you want to build your website, you want to post on social media, all this kind of stuff that are important, but can take you away from the core of your business. So as much as you want to have all of these things, the best way to go about it is build a structure, build a team, even if it is another team of like freelancers who would work with you, or a part-timers who would support you, believe in your vision, believe in your values, and then become part of your let's say small organization, and you scale it slowly up as you grow, as you acquire more clients, and as you serve more people. Then that's when you start scaling it up.
Thank you. This has been amazing. And thank you for your advice, your insight, especially on employee
Pleasure.
engagement and the cost for recruiting. A lot of organization, and I'm not talking only about startup, they're still struggling with this. And mainly I see there is a lack of awareness or understanding of the cost of hiring new people
Mhm.
or hiring the right people. Thank you for bringing that up.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Lubna, and all the best.
Thank you.
Cheers.